But we are back on track now and planning on doing some team calls for, well, until the next holiday comes up on a Wednesday. So I'm going to keep coming up with some good topics for you guys. I'm going to keep doing my best to bring on some incredible guest speakers. Tonight we have, you can't get much better than this, right? So we have Amy on the call, and for those of you who don't know, Amy is just a freaking rock star, right? So she has an absolute rock star team. She's a rock star herself. Actually, was a guest speaker on her team call just a couple weeks ago, and man, just the energy that she has and her team has is super, super impressive and contagious. I know it was for me, and I was honored to be able to speak to your team, Amy. But I'm just gonna hop right into it because we'll probably start doing a bunch more recognition next week. I'm not gonna do it right now because I want to give Amy the floor here. But I want to introduce her. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Amy Silverman is actually the current #1 coach in the network. And it's crazy to me that she actually hasn't been top coach yet because she's been rocking it for so many years now. She actually, believe it or not, guys, there's only 2 people that I know that have been able to do this. My good friend Melissa McAllister, right? She is a 5-time top 10 coach, and now Amy is also a 5-time top 10 coach, which is crazy, right? So it's way better than me. I was only a 2-time top 10. So she's an absolute just rock star, crushing the business. Again, just so many great things happening on our team right now, and it's really, really impressive to be able to watch what she's been able to do. To be #1 now, it's insane. I mean, just absolutely insane. The amount of effort that it takes, not just individually, but on a team-wide effort as well. And again, I'm super impressed with what she's been able to do. But she also has been elite 6 times in a row. She's part of the Millionaire Club, just like I am. She has 30 lifetime diamonds, which is a lot. And 76 months in Success Club 10. And she was also cab at some point. So that's she's like, I was cab once, I think. There was a point in my life, right? So that's kind of how I am too. I was cab about 5-6 years ago. But yeah, so I asked Amy to be on the call, and she said, well, what should I talk about? I said, just kick these guys in the ass, man. Let's get our team motivated. Let's get things going. It's really interesting to me. Just how much people lose momentum just given, 2 months into the year, or, almost 3 months into the year, just from January 1 to now. It's just crazy. It happens every single year, but that's why I asked Amy to be on a call. She's going to give you guys the kick in the ass that you need. All right. So Amy, I'm handing you the floor. Rock it, girl.
Thank you. I'm like blushing. Thank you so much. Well, first I want to say that, you guys have an amazing upline coach with Josh. In case you didn't know, when I was a new coach, I was like looking at Josh, like, how is this kid doing this? And I'm very inspired to see somebody my age rocking this business. To tell you guys, like, so you can see how old we are. Like, I was 25 years old, I think, when he got top coach. So I made him 25 as well. And so to be signing on to the business and seeing somebody my age, which, I know that there's you're in such a melting pot of Beachbody these days, but back in the day, the top 10 all looked very similar ages. They all dressed very similar. And then there was like Josh. And I was like, okay, so like somebody different, awesome. Like that means that if he can do it, I can do it too. So the first thing that I really want you guys to really start, I just want to point out, like, I'm full of slogans, and I started getting into slogans when I did P90X, obviously, because who's done P90X? What does Tony always say? Do your best and forget the rest, right? And so like ever since, that was my first program. So ever since I started with Tony and with Beachbody, I've always just been a slogan person. And one of the slogans on my team is, if she can do it, I can do it too. If he can do it, if they can do it, I can do it too, whoever they are, right? And so anytime that we do like, you know, retreat calls, or like my leaders are doing a call, we always say, remember you guys, if we can do it, you can do it too. And so that was always the most powerful thing for me with Beachbody, is that, you know, once I started to meet all these people who I idolized on social media, I started to realize that they were normal. And, you know, the saying goes, hustle until your idols become your peers. And that was something that I just like always like was like, okay, so I'm gonna be in this social group, and I'm gonna figure out how to do it, and I'm going to get to where these people are, and I don't know how, I don't know what that looks like, but I'm gonna make it happen. And you guys, like, you live in a day and age right now where Beachbody is like, you are told exactly what to do. It's like, get these numbers, do this on your social media, do these invites, do this thing, and you will have, you know, these results. And back in the day, the top coaches weren't so open with their numbers, you know, they would, you know, and there was no corporate team. There was no like training that we have today. You know, there was nobody coming on to a Beachbody Champions page and saying, this is all you got to do and you can be successful. It was kind of just like, sell Shakeology, have fun, bye. And that's like all it was. It's like, we had no scripts. We had no challenge packs. We had no challenge groups. We didn't know what social media was turning into. Like back in the day, Facebook was just like, you know, a thing for college kids. And we were on here trying to make it into a thing. And so you have to understand that like what you have now is so much more than what we had back in the day. And we still made something of it. So just know that like, no matter what the circumstances are, at the end of the day, what you make this business is completely up to you. So, and that's one thing that I really found a lot of power in, is the fact that like, okay, I know that I can work harder than anybody else. So I know that I will be successful at this. And as long as you know that you have the work ethic to work harder than anybody else, you'll be successful at this. And you don't even need to do you don't even need to do like 20% of what I do to be successful. You guys, you could do like 1% of what I do and still make a killer living with this business and have a killer business. I'm not telling you need to do what a top coach does, or the top coach does, or whatever, a top 10 coach does to be successful. I'm just telling you, you need to just be consistent in doing something. So I'm going to straight up tell you right now, if you're not recruiting at least 4 coaches a month, you're not building a business, okay? So 4 coaches a month is building. Less than 4 is staying the same. And less than 3, you're just replacing. You're not actually less than 4, you're just replacing. So 3 or less, you're just replacing people as they quit. You're not building. So how many of you guys have felt kind of like you're at the same place and you're just spinning your wheels and you feel like you're doing all this work and you feel like, oh, I'm hitting Success Club. I'm a Success Club all-star. Why am I not making 6 figures yet? But you recruit like maybe 1 coach a month, or maybe 1 coach every 2 months. Success Club, they used to say that Success Club was enough to build this business, but I think Beachbody has gotten a little wiser over the years and realized that that is not the case. We need to help people to build teams to be successful. So that being said, Success Club is great, but you know what I tell my team? Success Club 5 is the bare minimum. I recognize for Success Club 5, but as far as I'm concerned, that is merely just doing the bare minimum. I don't like to reward people for that kind of behavior. I don't like to reward mediocrity, and I think Success Club 5 is mediocre. And so if you're hitting Success Club 5, you're doing okay. And, you know, one thing that, you know, I'm a big Tony Robbins fan. So it's really funny because I quoted him at the United Kingdom launch, and then Jeff Hill quoted me at Leadership. And I was like, okay, Amy Robbins here, because it's like I just regurgitate everything I hear in personal development. But, you know, one of the things that Tony Robbins says is like, you know, what does he say? I need help. Kevin, what does Tony say about being good? If you're doing good, then and then if you're doing awesome, I have such a terrible memory. But anyway, it goes along the lines of like, if you're good, like I feel like for me, like if you're just doing a good job, like you're doing like below average. If you're doing awesome, then you're getting good results. If you're being extraordinary, then you're getting awesome results. And it's like that 2 millimeter difference. You guys, the difference between you growing your business, like at a rate that's actually like growing is literally the difference between helping 3 people and helping 5 people. Like really, what is the big difference between helping 5 people a month and 3 people a month? It's really not that big of a difference, but it's basically going to grow your business twice as fast. And a lot of you do not have the stick-it-to-itness to be here and grow a business at like snail pace. You just like nobody, like, no, I'm telling you right now, like I have never met a coach unless they're like literally just here to party. Like I've never really met a coach that says they want to work this business and has just hit Success Club 5 and has stayed around, because they're not really building anything. And eventually you're going to feel the comparison game. You're going to putter out. You're going to, be like, what's the point? You're going to fall off in your fitness and you're just not going to be around anymore. I do have those coaches though, who are just here to party, and they hit Success Club 5 and they're legends, and they go to Success Club trips and they go to Summit, and they're just here for the community. And that's great. That's their role in the team, and that's where they will be. But I can't help but think, wow, what if they just like saw how amazing this business opportunity is as much as they saw how amazing the health and fitness is? And there really is not that big of a difference between the two, except for whatever association you make with it. So your mindset is really what's deciding your results, and your mindset is really what's deciding whether or not you're going to be successful. The business side of Beachbody is exactly the same as the fitness side of Beachbody. 80-Day Obsession is a perfect example. 80-Day Obsession is like a lot of trusting the process. It's a lot of experimentation. It's a lot of, doing the work and just knowing it's going to come. It's a lot of patience. And it's a lot of just like listening to Autumn and knowing that she has your best interests at heart. And it's the same with Josh and any coach in the network. Anytime you go to Summit and the trainings, the coaches are telling you exactly what they do to be successful. But what you do with that and how you apply it and whatever twist you make on it, it has to be in a way that's going to help you be successful, not in a way that's going to put you into inaction. So one of the things that I really wanted to talk about tonight was inaction. I'm doing a diamond training right now, and I literally like yelled at them all morning. So I'm not going to yell at you guys. You're so lucky. I literally yelled at them like all morning. And so I'm kind of yelled out. But I do wanted to talk to you guys about, being in action. And one of my friends, I'm sure you've met her name or know of her name. Her name is Melanie Mitro. And one of the things she says that I really love is, this business is not hard, but it's not easy. But the things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. And I love it when she says that, because it's so true. Like the 4 vital behaviors, they're not hard. It's not hard to invite people. Like, am I asking you to go and shovel snow for 3 hours? Am I asking you to go stand on your feet and deliver like heavy materials, like where you're going to like have back pain? Am I asking you to go and to be like bending over a machine and sewing all day or something? No, I'm asking you to go and use your freaking fingers and invite some people. Like, how freaking hard is that? It's not hard. It's like sometimes it's like pulling teeth with you guys, because we're literally just asking you to reach out to people to help them. And you're like, that's too hard. I'd rather just sit in my own self-pity and mediocrity and just be super happy with my life. Not that I'm not happy with, because that's why I became a coach. And it's just like, I'm just like, you guys, we're not asking you to hurt people. We're not asking you to go out and cold call. We used to have to cold call, Josh. Remember those days when we would get leads? We get lists of customer leads and we had to cold call people. Oh my God. You guys don't even have to do that. Do you know how hard cold calling is? Do you know how heavy the phone feels? Like, you're just like, oh, who's going to answer? Who's going to be on the other side of this phone? Oh my God. It's like terrifying. You never know what you're going to get. But the way that I always turned it around, I was like, is that I made it fun. I'm like, who am I going to get on the other side of this phone? This is going to be fun. It's going to get weird. Like it was always somebody in the Midwest, and it was always like not my person. But it was always so interesting. Like the people, I just had so much fun talking to these people because they were just so random. But it was a lot of fun because it really helped me to build those skills, those social skills. So you guys, like, and I know it's annoying to like hear the top coaches like say like, do your 4 vital behaviors, do your 4 vital behaviors. But I literally just did a training today about social media. And one of the things that I was like, dude, I know that you guys are so sick and tired of hearing us say, do your 4 vital behaviors. But honestly, let's see in the chat box. How many of you can honestly say you do your 4 vital behaviors every single day? Yes or no? That's all I want. Post in the chat box. Every single day since you've signed up as a coach, since you've decided to work your business. Wow, that's a lot of no's. Josh is just like, oh my God, you guys. Thank you for your honesty. Now that we have acknowledged the problem, we can deal with it. The first step is admitting that you have a problem. Can you tell that I'm an alcoholic? Okay, so the first step is admitting that you all have a problem. But you know what? It's okay. It's fixable because you can literally just start doing it. Like, it's not like, oh my God, like, okay, now we all know like why you're not getting the results you want, right? So literally all you have to do is just start doing it. You can literally get off this call right now, and in an hour, you can bust out your 4 vital behaviors. And you can just snap it and just like nip it in the butt. Is it nip it in the butt? I always say the wrong things. Another thing is I always say slogans, but I say the wrong things. And Kevin's like, that's not how it goes. I'm just like, oh, well, whatever. It sounds right to me. Was it nip it in the bud? I used to say nip it in the butt. All right. And he was like, no, it's not how it goes. But it's nip it in the bud. Okay. Yeah. It's not butt. I always thought it was butt too. It's not. It's nip it in the bud. That one eluded me for 32 years. Okay, so so I'll answer questions at the end. So if you have questions coming up, definitely post them and I will answer them. But you guys, like,
she's reading stuff. She can't hear it. What? That would be bad. I said good. That would be bad.
You find them? All right, good job. Okay, so the thing about, okay, like I said, Melanie said, like the thing about the 4 vitals is like it's easy to do them and it's easy not to do them. But you guys, like, what really like stands out to me, the fact that like, you know, you all have like chosen to just not do them, is that you don't have a strong enough why. Like there's not something that really like pushes you to the point where like, you're like, I have to do this every day because I need to change my life. And I don't know about you, but like for me, like I wanted to change more than I wanted to breathe. Like I was crawling in my own skin. Like I just needed to just like get out of whatever I was in. Like the way I was, the way I thought, the way my financial situation, my life, my job, where I lived, like everything. I was just sick of it. I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I had been sick and tired of being sick and tired before in the past. And I had changed my life. Then I got sober when I was 23. I'm now 32 years old. So 10 years this year that I haven't drank or done any drugs. And that's huge. So at 23 years old, 23, I was like, well, I'm going to change my life. And I completely changed my life. And then at 25, I hit another bottom where I was just like, this cannot be it. How many of you guys ever look around at your life and you're like, this can't be it? Like, this is it? Like, this is, I have to do this forever? Like, and then you see like Instagram people all over the freaking place and you're just like, and you just want to like, but you know what, you guys, like, if you ever feel that way, just know that like, you can take complete responsibility. And you guys, I'm going to read this for you really quick. This is something that I posted in all my groups today. And I'm going to read it to you because it is so, so, so powerful. So affirmations are really, really powerful, you guys. And a lot of this business is taking ownership for your life and taking ownership for what you want. And what it seems to me is that like, you just all seriously just need to own it. Own the fact that you haven't been doing what you need to do. You haven't been doing what you need to do, but also own the fact that you can change that at any time and to go ahead and change it. So let me just find these really quick. I literally just posted them, so I don't know why I can't find them. Here they are. So these are affirmations for developing responsibility, self-responsibility. Now I'll post them in the chat box if you want to like write them on your mirror, because you need to look at them every day. The first one is the following. So I am responsible for directing my whole life through my own efforts. I am responsible to every aspect of my growth, development, and my health. I am responsible for what I desire and for improvement. Every day I make great efforts to change. I am responsible for my habits and develop only the good habits and cease and desist of carrying out any bad habits, not doing your 4 vital behaviors I may have been following. I let go of all of this negative in my life. I am responsible for my thoughts and ideas and action, and I'm willing to make changes. I am responsible for what happens to me physically, mentally, emotionally, as a spiritual being. With God's help, I'm carrying my responsibility by myself. I believe that I can conquer any bad habit or any problem detrimental to my mental and physical health, because you guys, you are affecting your mental and physical health by not doing what you set out to do. You do understand that you are basically telling yourself that you are not capable of achieving the things that you want to achieve through inaction. You are creating those bad habits by not doing them, instead of just creating the good habits by doing them. It's just as simple as that. It's just replacing the bad habits of not doing them with the habits of doing them. And you don't have to start off with like Success Club 100 and like 50 coaches, you guys. You need to start off by talking to 3 new people a day. You need to start off by recognizing 1 person a day. You need to start off by doing your personal development. I don't know how you guys live without personal development. Like I would literally be like under my covers every day crying in a hot mess in a corner if I didn't do personal development. And you need to be proof the product works. You know, and that one is easy. That one is why you're all coaches. Didn't you all become coaches because you want to be held accountable to your health and fitness for the rest of your life, and because you're so passionate about Beachbody, you want to help other people? Let me finish this really quick. I believe that physical health, and that I can develop and maintain a very rich life, that I'm willing to use the power within. And remember, everything that you need is within you now. Like you don't need to go looking for a training. You don't need to go and find the thing or the special sauce. You just need to know that like everything that you have that you need to be successful is already inside of you. You just need to tap into it and just start feeding it. Because what you're doing by not doing the things you're supposed to be doing is you're feeding the negative part of you that's like, yeah, I told you can't do it. Yeah, I told you suck. Yeah, I told you you're going to be terrible at this. And you're basically co-signing your subconscious, your negative subconscious mind, and being like, and just like, you know, writing down all the reasons why you can't be successful at this. And if you were doing the opposite, then you would be literally telling every single negative thing in your life to F off, because look at me now. One more thing. I believe that the God power within me can make my life more successful and better and richer, and especially healthier in my body and mind. I believe that I'm the master of my daily efforts. I am thankful to the Creator who has given me the chance to become perfect. Imperfectly perfect. So let me see if I don't think I can paste this here. Let me try. It's not working. I can send it to Josh. I'm just going to send it to Josh right now, and he can just post it in the team page. So yeah. So I wanted to read those to you guys because, you know, one of my other friends, his name is Scotty Hobbs. I'm sure you've heard of him. One of the things that he asks himself every single day that he looks in the mirror is he asks himself, am I doing what I would want my coaches to do? Am I being the type of coach that I want my coaches to be? So for all of you who are like, oh, I can't sign up people who want to work the business, all my coaches are quitting, all my customers are quitting, blah, 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 all the things. Are you really, I mean, you're not doing the vital behavior, so obviously you're not really being the coach that you want. And you guys, you know what the most shittiest thing about being a leader is that they are going to duplicate everything you do, good or bad, all of it. And if you have kids, like you see it all the time, they're going to duplicate the good and the bad. They're going to pull out the curse word. They're going to, do, the bad thing. They're also going to do the good thing, but, you're going to notice the bad things probably more. And the thing is, you guys, the thing that I learned about leadership is that your team will even duplicate what you're doing behind closed doors. Like, even if you don't think that anybody notices or is seeing, they will duplicate it. It's the power of the universe. It's like attracts like. So if you are just not doing the things, but you think that you can attract the people who are going to do the things, you are terribly mistaken, because that is not the way it works. You have to be the person that you want people to be. That, the only reason why I've been in the top 10 for the last 5 years is because I continue to raise my standards and I continue to raise the bar every year. At this time last year, I was hitting like Success Club, like 70, like 100, like 70, like 80 to 100 and something. And in December and January, I decided to start hitting Success Club 200. Why? Because I want to be top coach. And because I know that's what it's going to take. And I'm tired of being in the top 10 without being top coach. And I want to go back to Sundance. I want to be back in cab. One of my coaches on my team's on cab this year, and she's at Sundance right now. And I'm like, how's Sundance? Must be amazing. And top coach gets invited every year. So Melanie's literally been going every single year. And I'm just like, ugh, so jealous. But really, that's not my motivations for being top coach. I just really want my team to see what's possible. And I want my team. And the thing is, you guys, you are setting the standard for your team. And, I actually had one of my coaches message me today, and she was like, thank you so much for working as hard as you do and setting the standards that you set for the team, because it really does matter. And I was like, wow, that's the best compliment I could ever get from a personally sponsored coach who wants to quit her job, and so just know that you are never going to have the team that you want until you are the team that you want. And you are never going to have the results that you want in your business until you start getting consistent. So, I feel like you guys have a lot to work on. I don't feel like I have anything else to offer you until you start getting back to the basics of your business. And one of the things that everybody always asks me, like, how are you so successful for so long? How are you, so like blah, all those things. And I'm just like, you guys, I just get back to basics. I do the same things that I've done since day one, except I'm better at them. I have more skills now. And why on earth would I slow down when I finally figured it out? Like, it's like people are like, well, how do you stay on top for so long? It's like, because I know how to do it now. And like, I want to make more money and I want to help more people. And I, like, why would I slow down right when I'm hot? Right. So that's what me and Kevin always say. We always say, you milk it while you're hot, because you may not be hot forever. The brand's social media may change and I may not be like, that amusing anymore or that interesting. And so I'm going to milk it while I can, and I'm going to continue to build on what I've built. And so like, you guys need to build the momentum. And when you build the momentum, don't stop. How many of you guys used to be doing the 4 vitals and you had some sort of momentum going, and then something like curveballed you and just like threw you off your game, and you haven't been able to get your momentum back? So how many of you guys have like tasted success and then just like stopped? All right. So, I'm going to do a plug for Tony Robbins, because I do every time I speak on a team call. UPW is coming up in San Jose. And it's so important that you guys start to really work on yourselves in terms of personal development, in a sense where like you go to total immersion seminar, because one of the things that Tony really helped me with was my destructive patterns. And a lot of us have patterns that we just repeat and we repeat and we repeat and we repeat. And we don't realize that we're repeating it until somebody brings it to our attention, until we bring it to our own attention. And one of the things that I realized, that one of the patterns I was recreating, was I would get close to having some sort of success, and then I would self-sabotage. And I almost did it the first year I hit top 10. I almost like completely just destroyed my life because I was in that pattern. And instead I went and I fixed it, and I haven't experienced it since. And I did that at UPW, and I did it with Tony Robbins. So, if you are in the place in your life where you're just like, you're so sick and tired of yourself, like you're really getting on your own nerves, like, and that's where I was getting on my own nerves to the point where I was like, I need to fix myself. I went to Tony. And I really feel like that's where people go who really, really, really want to have lasting change. And so I'm just going to do that plug for you right now. If you're like, I can't do this for a whole nother year, Tony's happening in March. That's literally next month. Like, I get your booty on a plane. I would charge it if you have to, and I would get there, because that is life-changing stuff right there. How many of you guys have been to UPW? I'm going to guess 1. Wow. I'm impressed. Elizabeth went to UPW. Anybody else been to UPW? Well, Elizabeth, You need to go back. Until you start hitting your vitals. I go to Tony every single year. You guys, and that's the thing about personal development. It's a vital behavior. You do it every day. I didn't just go to Tony once and I was like cured. I go to Tony every single year. I've been to every single one of his events, Leadership Mastery, Date with Destiny, 2 UPWs, Life and Wealth Mastery. I'm going back this year as in the leadership position to lead and to learn from Tony backstage. I'm hungry to learn from this man because he is unusually successful. So, I mean, that's it. I just want to do my little Tony Robbins plug. I don't get paid to do that. I just really, really think it's life-changing. And I wanted to see if, Josh, if you had any questions that you wanted to direct me in before we open it up.
I'm just kind of in shock that no one's doing the vital behaviors. It's just, I don't even know what to say, honestly. It's crazy to me because it's something that we always talk about, and I don't know. I mean, it's just nuts. You know, I'm like you, right? I mean, if I want to change, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to change. And there's so many people and a lot of coaches on our team that sit there and they hate the situation that they're in, but for whatever reason, they just aren't willing to put in the effort to change. And it's just really confusing to me. And I think it goes back to what you were talking about, is that there's just not a strong enough why. And it's not something that they're thinking about every single day. It's like purpose ignorance, honestly, because I think what happens is that when they think about the why, it makes them feel bad, right? And it gets them outside that comfort zone. And just like I talked about on your call, I think that's really what it ultimately comes down to, is that they don't want to – nobody wants to be uncomfortable, right? I mean, or mediocre people don't want to be uncomfortable. Just like that example that I used on your team call last week. It's just people live inside that bubble and they want to change. Deep down inside they want to change, but they're not willing to actually do what it takes and get uncomfortable enough in order to make that change happen. And successful people are just totally opposite, where they just burst through that bubble and they force themselves to be uncomfortable on a daily basis. I mean, I do my vital behaviors, right? I mean, I'm in there, I'm doing this shit. I've been doing it for how long? I've been a coach for 10 years. And someone said, you know, is there days where you don't? Well, absolutely. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm sitting here and doing every damn day, right? I'm not. On Sunday, maybe I'm traveling. You know what I mean? I mean, there's times where I'm not, but I'm always consistent. I'm always on track, and I'm doing what I need to do to move my business forward. So I don't know. It's just interesting. And I appreciate you sharing that and getting real with the coaches for a minute. I don't have any questions personally, but I don't know. Do you guys have any questions for Amy? We have a little bit of time here. So
Dustin asked me, how do I feel about Les Brown? It's really funny. Les Brown's literally from like 15 minutes from where I live, from Florida City. I love Les Brown. He's great. He's very motivational. But I would go to Tony Robbins if you really want to have lasting change. Les Brown's like pump me up, you know? And, you know, he's from, I mean, if you guys have ever seen Florida City, like where he's from and where he is now is incredible. Very inspired by people that have that kind of a story, you know, because where he grew up is like, and where he is now is not very many people get out of there. So I love it. I think he has a great story. I know that Sagi is really passionate about Les Brown. Ask Sagi. He'll talk about him all day. So nobody has questions for the number one coach in the company. Wow, you guys. Wow.
I have a lot of questions, but I ask you.
Why don't you ask me a question while they wake the F up?
No, because the question I want to ask you is actually very detailed. I'm just curious about some of the funnel systems that you have set up. I'll ask you that at a separate time. I actually just hired someone. So I hired someone to manage that aspect of my business. This is my second assistant. And there's just a few questions I have about some of the things that you're doing to get that high of success points. Because I'd like to get back there, obviously. You know, I've been in the hundreds before, but I want to get back to.
I will tell you that I do it all myself. I've never hired anybody. I don't do Facebook ads. I've never done paid for shout outs, all those little tips and tricks that all those coaches who have, gotten in the top 10 before, if you noticed, they didn't stay in the top 10 because their systems were attracting, in my opinion, flip-floppy leads. They weren't organic, and I think that there's something, Josh, just like, this is just my opinion, and honestly, like, try what you want to do, like, try it. But personally, I am really passionate about building an organic following and having people who are genuinely interested in you and people who genuinely want to be a part of what you're part of in your life. And the reason for this is that it's not just about points. Those 200 successful points, those are people who like want to be, like, I've had conversations with, I answer all my emails. It's either me or Kevin. We talk about these people when we get coach sign ups. He's like, who signed up? We know their stories. Of course, I don't remember everybody's stories with everybody. I talk to a lot of freaking people. But at the end of the day, these aren't just like, shitty leads who are just like, fine, I'll do it. My groups are super positive and they're great breeding grounds for great future coaches because they are so positive and everybody there is such a higher quality person. Do you guys understand what I'm saying when I say somebody's like a higher quality person? Like, I see some, like, Josh, how we have the inherited customer leads now? Some of these inherited customers are just like, sorry, but they're just like trashy. And I'm just like, their responses are so rude. I'm just like, delete. Like, they're not allowed in my groups. I don't even want that kind of a person in my groups because they're just like they're just so gross. Like, the way they talk to me, I'm just like you're not coming into my space, And so I really do feel like it's important to take the time to build the following. But you have to hustle the numbers while you're building the following. The following takes time to build. And Dustin asked, like, Instagram or Facebook. I build across all the platforms. I do Facebook. I have YouTube. I do an Instagram. I have a blog. And so, like, that's where I built through, like, all of it. But I'd say most of my leads come through Instagram. And I honestly, like, how many people do I invite per day? That depends on the given day. I'm always inviting. And so that's the thing. It's kind of a gray area where it's like, how many people are you inviting a day? Well, I can pull up my email and I can tell you guys in just the last month, I've closed on at least 61 people. I guess, no, this is like the last 2 weeks. So in the last 2 weeks, I've invited like 100 and 250 people, something like that. But that's only people that are like, I'm talking about for a challenge group. Then I have my coach sneak peek group that I'm running, and there's like 30 people in there. But I will say around the 80-day obsession launch, it was 800, 900, and 1,000 people in 30 days or something like that, 1,000, something like that. So, and they were all organic followers who all genuinely wanted to join my group. They weren't like just like random people that I found on an Instagram shout out. They're people who follow me, so they know like a little bit about me. They know a little bit about my story. They've been watching my journey. So they're more quality leads in my opinion. Let's see. How do you keep your challenge groups fun and exciting and to continue to have people wanting to join? And I just try different things all the time. So like one of the things that they did in the 80-day obsession test group that I was in is that all the coaches were meeting up to do live workouts via Zoom. I'm such an asshole. I didn't go to one. But I did start doing them with my wellness studio and my customers. And I started doing it with my girls. And so every single morning, it gets me up early. We work out. We do our workout at the same time via Zoom. I go live in there all the time. Josh, something you might be interested in is I started an email nurturing sequence through MailChimp where all my customers and all my coaches get loaded into an email nurturing sequence. So they're all getting emails from me constantly. And so they just reply back to them and I reply back to them. And so my whole goal this year is retention and touch points. And so I'm just trying to make sure they get something in the mail, they get something in their inbox, they're seeing me in the test group, I'm posting. I'm going live. For me, just like seeing what keeps these groups fun for me, you guys, is seeing people having results. Like these people are crushing the program. Like you guys, I literally said on a call the other night, there are so many results coming out of my test group. I am paralyzed and I do not know what to share. Like I have so many results that like, I don't even know how to start sharing them because there is literally they're just like flooding in. When Carl said at Summit, I think it was last year, he said that every coach should have a binder of success stories. I take everything that Carl says to heart, you guys. And I was like, I want a binder. And I like went out to like build my binder, you know, like I'm like super motivated by what that man says. Like he's a self-made billionaire. Like he tells me to do something, I'm going to be like, okay, I'll go do it, you know? And like, when I was like, you know, whenever he says something, I take it very seriously. I'm like, okay, this is what Carl's asking me to do. I'll go do it. So I created tons of success stories, and I want to have a bunch of people in the Beachbody Challenge. Don't you guys want to have like a Beachbody Challenge winner? Like that is like my ultimate goal. And I still have not achieved that. You know how hard it is to achieve that? That's something that's like really hard. So that's how I keep it fun and exciting. I do giveaways. So like for the first phase, the first 30-day check-in, I had all my customers post their before and afters. And I asked them if I could share their results on my blog and on my social media. And they all said yes. And if they said yes, they got an extra entry, and I did a raffle. And so like, it's fun for them because they know I'm going to be doing a raffle every single 30 days for like their results, and it keeps them motivated. And it's fun for them because they earn stuff, and it's only one person like every 30 days. It's not like I'm giving away hundreds and thousands of dollars of stuff. It's just something, you know, really fun. Where do you primarily build your business? I answered that one all over the place. And you guys, a lot of these questions you could probably figure out by just going to my pages. You know, like I think sometimes coaches like, how do you do it? It's like, you can just go to our pages and just see what we're doing. Like the thing about Beachbody coaches is everything they're doing is completely out in the open. It's not like there's some secrets. The only thing that's going on behind the scenes that you don't see is the 12 hours a day I sit at my desk and answer emails. So are you going to do that? For those of you who don't have a full-time job, for those of you who are working this part-time, you're going to sit here an hour a day, 2 hours a day, answer emails. That is the unsexy, not fun part that I do. That is the part that helps people, is the people part. Like the social media part, I spend very little time doing my social media and all of my time helping my team and answering emails. So I don't spend very much time on social media. So for people like, I don't want to be on social media all the time, then you shouldn't be. If you're on social media all the time, you're not doing your damn job. You know, like our job is not to be on social media. Our job is to be getting people from social media and into our groups. I use Streak to organize my leads, which I love. You load it into Gmail. It's a plugin. There's no snack. The thing I don't like about Asana or anything like that is like you have to take another step to load it in. And I don't like doing that because it's like, it's a waste of my time. And what I love about Streak, it's literally in my inbox so I can just change it. What would you recommend for social media training? I would not recommend Chalene Johnson. I know I get so much shit for this, but you guys, like, I'm like, you guys go, if you want to learn how to build a social media following that's organic. Like I'm very fond of Turbo Fire. But at the end of the day, like, I feel like where we are in our lives is very different than where she is. Like she built her social media off of the Beachbody. She didn't build it organically like we have to. She built it off something that was already generating followers for her. And so my 2 cents is, if you want to learn how to grow a social media following, go to YouTube. There's influencers and people trying to build YouTubes and Instagrams all over the internet. If you Google in YouTube, how to grow an Instagram following, you know how many little Instagrammers are there making videos telling you guys how to do it? Like, you just have to do it. You know, it's like, there's so many, you know how I learned how to grow mine? I started following Instagram accounts that had at least 1 million followers, and I started duplicating what they were doing. And it wasn't like Will Smith, who already, like, you know, is an actor. I was like following like bloggers and influencers and people who get paid to like go travel and stuff like that. I was like, I'm going to do what they're doing, obviously, because they're successful. Success leaves clues, not just in the Beachbody world, but in the world. Like, I get all of my advice from people who are not associated with Beachbody or not associated with network marketing, and that's what ends up setting me apart, is because that's why I don't look like every other person and doing what every other person does, is because anytime what I'm doing picks up in the Beachbody culture, I switch what I'm doing. Perfect example, PIO. So PIO was a really big thing. And so what I started doing is I started copying what all the yoga people were doing, but with PIO. And nobody was doing that yet. And I hosted a PIO retreat in Belize to set myself apart. And I did all these things. And I was doing these PIO moves of the day. So all this to like music and stuff, and doing PIO moves like in random places and all this shit. And nobody was doing that yet. And then all of a sudden every Beachbody coach started doing it. So I stopped. And I started something else. And that's pretty much like my whole entire high school life as well. Like anytime anybody started copying what I was doing or doing anything similar, I completely switched because I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to be doing something completely different. And so my advice to you is to not copy what coaches are doing. Find other people who are doing something different and be creative with your approach and set yourself apart. Any tips to building organic followers? I would read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, The Digital Age. That was a big game changer for me with my social media. Yep, there it is by Dale Carnegie, but it's rewritten for social media. So it's a really, really, really great book. And target market, their accounts are private. Yeah, I would just, I don't want to worry too much about that. They're private. They're private. Move on. Like, you know, I don't know. I don't personally like go to people's accounts and like love on them. But there is, I did a training for my team and taught them how to search hashtags for people. And I went and made a contact by doing a training. And she's like in my challenge group now and like becoming a coach. And I was like, oh, I did it one day and I signed up a coach. You know, so it does work. Like literally all you have to do is find a hashtag. Like for me, like sober is sexy was the hashtag that I used. It has nothing to do with health and fitness. It has to do with my lifestyle. And I found this girl who has like this beautiful long blonde hair. And one of my goals right now is to grow my hair super freaking long. And so I started hitting her up and like telling her how beautiful she was and asking her about her hair and DMing her and being like, okay, how long is it going to take my hair to grow as long as yours? And I sent her a picture. And so she started helping me. And then, you know, and then she was like, well, there was this Beachbody thing you're doing. People have already asked me if I can help them with it. What is it? And I was just like, oh, well, you should, you know, give me your email. And I sent her this, and I sent her step 1. And then I sent her step 2. She signed up. Like, why is it so hard for you guys? Why do you make it so hard? She signed up, and then she asked to be in my, it's really funny, this is how busy I am. She asked to be in my sneak peek, and I said, okay, same email, and I emailed her. I'm like, oh, she's already a customer. Like, I didn't even realize this is the same girl that signed up as a customer because, like, I'm just so talking to so many people. I don't even have time to, like, associate the Instagram with the email and the thing and the Facebook and the whatever. But I thought that was so funny because the one time that I go do an Instagram training, I sign somebody up. And so you guys, like, you literally just need to go and talk to people and don't be weird and creepy and don't post like little, generic comments. Like, have a genuine conversation with somebody. Find something that you're genuinely interested in. Are you interested in growing your own plants? Go find people who grow plants. Like, it's not like all about health and fitness all the time. But I'll tell you what, if your Facebook and your Instagram does not show what you do and you're not posting your fitness journey, and you're not sharing what you do, and you're super salesy and weird on your Instagram, people are going to know that you're just trying to sell them something, and they're going to want to stay far, far away from you. The one thing about my Instagram is that it's not Beachbody branded. It's just me. And so they know I'm just a normal chick who loves this shit. That's really it. Like, and it's not like I'm a Beachbody coach, you know, Beachbody coach Amy. Like, that's not what it is. It's just like, I'm a chick who has great results with this thing. Like, you should do it. So content, it's so funny. I just did an entire training on content today. So that's an entire training that you would have to do. Basically, in a nutshell, get out of your head. If you're in your head, you're dead. Like, stop thinking so much and just write whatever's on your freaking mind. The reason why people struggle with content is because they're trying to craft a post for their ideal avatar. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, you just post what's on your mind. Stop caring what people think. Like, people are like, I need to post the perfect post for my ideal girl. Like, what the frick? It's so weird. Just share what is, like, seriously, like, unfiltered what's in your head. Even if it's weird and it's totally just do it. That's what's going to attract your people. Like, you don't want to be like this perfect person who's always like saying the right thing to not offend anybody and to have that perfect, like it's just, that's not reality. People don't want that. People just want normal freaking people, just showing them that they can do extraordinary things. That's all they want. So that's where you struggle with content. Do you agree, Paula? Because that's like what, like, I've been doing this for a little while, and that's one thing that I know for a fact is that, like, overthinking is the thing that, like, ruins everybody's lives. I've never done free groups. If you want to work with me, you have to invest in yourself. I do not do free groups. I think they're a waste of time. I think they attract, I don't think that they attract quality leads. I think they just attract people who want free shit. And I'm like, hashtag no handouts. Sorry, if you want something, you need to work for it. You need to invest in it. I put skin in the game. They need to put skin in the game. And I think that comes with like building confidence, you guys. If you have confidence in the fact that you have something that people need and that you are a coach that can help people, like you need to build that confidence and that posture that you are not going to work with somebody until they're willing to at least meet you halfway. Why do you work for free and they just get to like do whatever they want? Like, in what world is that reality? Like, if anything, that's co-signing somebody else's BS. Like, I'm not going to sit there and stroke somebody's like, fragile like state of mind. Like, I want to attract people into my life who want to change. And your team starts with the quality of people you bring onto your social media. You understand that, right? Like, if you bring a bunch of broken people who just want free shit into your groups, you understand that you're going to get a team that just wants handouts and just wants to do a little and get a lot. Like, it does start there. So just remember, like, the kind of message that you're putting on your social media, if you seem very desperate and you're willing to work with anybody, like, you're going to get these really, really low quality people, just so you know. Okay. I didn't see Carl's post in the 80-day obsession group. Sorry. I don't know what that is. Oh, the script that he posted today with the challenge pack that's $10 off. Is that what you're talking about? I think I saw that. I literally copied and pasted and posted in my team pages because Carl knows all. I'm such a kiss ass. Okay. So I think I got through everybody's questions. Anything else, Josh?
No, that was good. I actually stopped the free groups too for the exact same reason, because I was attracting a lot of people who just wanted free shit. I really appreciate you taking the time to do the call. I mean, I think it's a message that everyone needs to hear. I just think that I think a lot of things. Like I need to just gather my thoughts, because there's a lot of things going through my head right now. I need to think about it and then make a video or a post about it. But I really appreciate it. And I think there were some good questions here at the end. I'm glad that they actually come out of their shell and ask you some questions. Thank you. Thanks so much.
You guys are so welcome.
Shoot, man. And then I will see you in Summit, right? We gotta hang out a little bit.
Mexico.
Oh no, we're not going. I don't go to Mexico. I don't go to Mexico. Sorry.
Right.
No. Don't go to Mexico. But yeah. So anyways, guys, hey, Amy, while you're on here, we could actually talk about it. Are we going to be doing the team meeting together?
So yeah, that's what we're planning on doing. We're planning on joining up for Summit, like the day before Summit kicks off. And I'm putting together, and Josh is putting together, and I think Barbie as well. I think, and Moira Kusaba's team probably will be, and Meredith Ganal, pretty much all the top coaches below Barbie. We're going to be putting together a kick-ass day of training and team bonding at Summit. And so if you haven't bought your Summit tickets, let's see who's bought their Summit tickets. I want to see some accountability. Post in the chat group, yes or no.
I don't even want to see this.
Don't look, Josh. Don't look.
I can't.
Oh, look at that. Look at all the yeses.
That's good. That's good.
Yay. I hope you're not going to party. Great. Well, here, you guys, do me a favor. By the time Summit comes, you all need to be hitting Success Club 10, and you all need to be Diamond coaches, because it is freaking far away. And you guys, I have coaches who are signing up and hitting Diamond in less than 60 days. So if you're not Diamond by Summit, we need to have an intervention. We need to sit down as a family, and we need to talk about what's really going on, because it's so far away. You guys have enough time to make it happen. So why don't we all, as a group, Josh was talking before about how it takes a team to become elite and how it comes a team to be top 10. You guys have been top 10 before. In order for you guys to get back and to help Josh reach his goals, I know that he has huge goals for you guys this year. He can't do it without you. And you can't, you have to be wanting to contribute to the team as a whole and to Team Beachbody as a whole. And your contribution to the team is so important. If I were you guys, I'd want to be that person who steps up to the plate to help Josh reach his goals and to help the team to become that much better. And I really hope that some of you do like step up in that role of leadership for your team, because it seems like there needs to be more people stepping up to the plate except for Josh, and just showing you guys what this looks like. And so I just want for your call to action coming off of this call, I want you guys to get into Success Club. Obviously, if you're not, obviously by the end of this month. And then I want you to start showing Josh that you mean business. And I want to see those leaderboards, and I want to see them, I want to see all of you guys advancing in rank. I want to see, multiple diamond coaches, multiple star diamond coaches. Josh came on my team call, and I felt so bad because it was like 20 minutes of recognition. I was like, don't come on for like 20 minutes, okay? And I want you guys to have the same thing. I want there to be so much explosion going on in your team that everybody is reaching their goals, having record paychecks. Like, does that sound awesome? But you guys have to understand that you're all being a product of each other right now. Like, you can either be a product of each other right now in a good way or a bad way. You're the sum of the people that you hang out with, and you are your community. You guys need to do something, and you can't wait for Josh to do it. Somebody needs to step up, and somebody needs to challenge the team to get their ish together, and it can't be Josh. Because obviously whatever he's doing, you guys are not listening to. So you guys need to, you need to take it upon yourselves to step up as a leader and to show other people on the team what it looks like. Be the best. Show everybody else that looks like. And show Josh that like you care, and that you care about his time, and you care about, what he's doing for you. And by showing him results, like that's like the best thing you can do for your upline, is to just show up and to do the work, because all we want for you guys is to experience what we've experienced. That's why we're still here working with you. It's not because we want to make more money. It's because we want you to walk in our footsteps, because it feels so good to see people experiencing what we've experienced. Having my coach one of my coaches in the top 10 this year, I get to watch her the whole time in the top 10 trip and just be like, this is so cool. Like, I want you guys to be able to experience that, but you're never going to experience that until you start doing your 4 vitals and you start stepping up. So thank you for having me on, Josh.
Yes, thanks so much, and I appreciate you taking the time out to do this. And we'll talk to you guys soon. See you guys.